Ghost Recon games have a long pedigree of tactical ultra-realism. The original Ghost Recons and many of the subsequent add-ons and sequels have made the player take the time to plan an attack, to survey an area, and know everything before you kick down your first door. Some would argue that the typical play style of the Ghost Recon games is outdated. People don't want to spend a long time planning their attack, they just want to jump in and open up with the biggest guns they have. So how does Ghost Recon Wildlands shape up? That's the question. I got my hands on the beta, and while it's still a work in progress, I do think I've got an inkling as to what the game intends to do. The first big change is the move to an open world environment. The play area we had access to was fairly small in comparison to the overall map, so it is looking like Ubisoft have created an impressive world for the ghosts to do their thing in. The problem comes, as with so many open world games, in occupying the space. Ghost Recon's Wildlands does make efforts to make the open world feel like a real place, but it's still largely empty if you decide to go for a run off the beaten track. There are things to do. Enemy patrols drive or fly around at a fairly consistent pace, so there's always a chance of an encounter, but aside from various strongholds and enemy towns, there can often be nothing of interest to see or do when you're just exploring with your Spec Ops buddies. The gameplay doesn't seem all that diverse either. It follows the standard layout of The Division, with two primary weapons and your sidearm. You'll have to use your binoculars and drone to scout areas, highlight enemies, and assess your options. Combat feels fairly insubstantial so far, with little of the ultra-realism that made the Ghost Recon titles popular in the early 2000s. It feels like a more detailed and in-depth The Division than the Ghost Recon games of old. The upgrading system works through using skill points found throughout the world, and resources tagged by tagging supplies. There are a lot of options to choose from, so there is a diversity there. You can increase the battery power and range of your drone, increase ammo and health, and gain equipment like the parachute and the underslung grenade launcher. To help you in your fight against the cartel, you can call on rebel forces to help you. Mortar strikes and vehicle drop-offs were the only ones I managed to unlock in the beta, but it does let you have some leeway if you get caught short. It's always important to remember that betas are still works in progress and things can change, but so far, Ghost Recon Wildlands feels more like a modern day open world shooter like Just Cause 3, and less like the patient and methodical Tom Clancy games that it was spawned from. This is one to keep an eye on, but do go into it with a certain amount of caution if you are a fan of the OG Ghost Recon games. If you enjoyed the video, why not give us a like? If you really liked it, why not subscribe? Because you know we'll do things that other channels won't.
Yes.
Behind the scenes stuff.
Yes, we will.
Not just on anniversaries.
I'm getting weird again.
I'm getting weird.